once we have some working awareness then of being able to feel my partner's axis and move around it, we can then start to play as a lead, or for me sometimes it helps me to think of just being aware of our two axes moving through space. So my center, her center, when we walk, we're both moving together. I move around her axis. I can then also invite her to move around my axis. So now I'm the center, pausing her, and me moving around her axis. Inviting her to continue. An easy place that I find to do this when she's doing her Molinete is on one of her side steps. So as she takes that side step, I can start moving around her axis at that point. If I want to keep moving the same direction, is generally the easiest way to go from there. It'll either be a back step or a forward step for her at that point.
So when do you start thinking about taking me into the Calecita from the Molinete?
Certainly, I want to initiate the movement as she arrives on that foot. And there's a little bit of a pause there where I'm making it clear to her something's changing, something different's about to happen. You're moving this one direction. As she arrives, I start to move around her axis.
My experience of this is very continuous movement. I feel the energy going around Patrick, and that energy then goes up and down through my body and around my axis. And then it flows right back into around Patrick.
So it can be nice. I mean, basically just a very short sequence, like Lori goes around me, I move around her. Invite her to go around me a couple steps. I can move around her. Very fun.
So just as the Molinete can be the whole set, side, front, side, back, around your partner, it can also be just one step going around his axis. And the Calecita can be an entire circle. It could be just one step around.
Right, so Calecita is the leader moving around the follower's axis. Molinete is the follower moving around the leader's axis. So we can really play with it and mix it up and have both axes moving together at the same time. Very fun.
The world just got more three-dimensional.
Yes.
Global.
So another fun way to play with this is to move into a Planeo. So I've been demonstrating, mostly starting on my follower's side step. I can do the same thing starting on, like say, her back crossing step, for example. If we're doing this in Ochos, this kind of flows well because she's already collecting and pivoting around her own axis at that moment. So as she collects and pivots, I can move around her axis and invite her to go right into a back Ocho, where I just take a step or two with her. So that's a nice point where she's already pivoting, where I can move around her axis and continue the back Ocho in some other direction. Fun to play with. The other piece is, can I invite her to pause as she settles back on that back Ocho place before she collects her foot? And this is, again, really tuning into your partner. If I go too far, Lori collects. If I don't go far enough, she hasn't really changed her weight. She's kind of split weight right now, or maybe her weight's too far forward. So what I'm looking for is to find a place where her weight is settled back, but she's still extended. And I can kind of suggest this a little bit if, as she takes that weight change, I've kind of settled down just a little bit. There's a little sense of suggesting, let's ground right here. Is that what you feel?
Yeah.
So again, grounding there.
I also feel that you don't shift as far this way.
Right, so I'm not matching her collection point, which I normally do when I take an Ocho. Kind of holding her right there.
Right there, so I feel this invitation to kind of stay in between. It's important for me in this moment to really let my weight be on this foot without reaching back for it. Right, I'm not really over my axis this way, so I really want to keep that weight going into that foot. keeping my shoulders over my hips, so I feel that over my ankle. So I have that nice vertical line, as opposed to going here. It's tempting to do that sometimes.
When we feel we've arrived there, I can start rotating, doing a Calecita in this position, inviting Lori to keep her foot out. Again, nice just to feel her balance. You know, I kind of go in and out a little bit. There's a little bit of pressure between us. That's the fine-tuning of it. And then at some point, I'm going to stop moving, and my frame is going to suggest for Lori to finish her rotation. So let me show you that again. It's like we've gone here, I step around, walk around, and then I invite her to finish pivoting. So we kind of pause in that moment before she pivots, and we're doing the Calecita. Then invite her to pivot, and often rolling right into another back ocho from that place. This is a lovely step for slowing down with the music, doing a kind of nice yummy step or two, and then walking out.
It's really nice. Patrick's really giving me time at the end. He sort of sets a quality, and I stay inside that quality. And then when we finish, he keeps that quality to wrap it up so that I know how much time I have to bring my foot in to collection to be ready to go for the next thing.
Yes.
When we're doing this planeo, it's another fun place to add an adornment. And watching on YouTube, you can see lots of really wonderful follows performing a planeo, and they will take the time to interpret the music with their toe on the floor. I really love the way Michelle Lamb does that in her adornos in a planeo. So here, I can just roll my toe along the ground, sort of in my knee, letting my knee bend and release, really caressing the floor. And then I come back up, going back into the back ocho. Oh, he's going to take me right to the side. So here I'm really listening to the music to pick up the quality of the music. And you can play with that.
Absolutely.
So this is one of those things, followers, you can do on your own. If you're learning the music, you have a favorite piece of music, play with your toe on the ground and make up little stories you can tell with your toe on the floor. And if perchance you're in the planeo, when that piece of music comes up, you're familiar with that. It's already in your body. So we can practice on our own. It's kind of fun.
Indeed.